you know that the man who wrote The Three Musketeers was black? This guy, Alexandre Dumas. He also wrote The Man in the Iron Mask and The Count of Monte Cristo. Just another cool history fact I thought you guys would like to know.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us for Childhood Rewind, where we are going over episodes 4 through 6 of the anime version of The Count of Monte Cristo. Good grief. In
Or,
the 3 episodes,
oh, sorry, I was just going to say, or by some people who know it by their anime title, Gankutsuou.
it's always listed in the description. Episodes
Oh,
4
sorry.
through 6, My Mother's Secret. Episode 5, Do You Love Your Fiancé? And episode 6, Her Melancholy, My Melancholy. And starting off with episode 4.
So, episode 4, we start off exactly where we left off, where the Count has now met again Mercedes and Fernand, and well, let's just say his anger is cooled, but he is raging inside. So they have a dinner, they sit down, and one particular dish that I remember them serving is a dish that's served in Marseille, where all three of them, mind you, are from. But Fernand and Mercedes like, oh no, we've never been there. We what? That poor province? Nope, we've never been there. What you talking about, Willis? And it's just serving to the fact that they've tried so hard to erase the past that they've come from, especially more so Fernand than Mercedes. I can't even really say Mercedes is exempt from that, because she literally just jumped on that bandwagon to say, nope, I'm not from that province. I don't know nothing from that province. I ain't never been there. I ain't never seen there. I ain't been there. But if you've read the book, if you've seen the actual movies or in the effect past series, you know that's not the case. But digressing from there, we go throughout there, and then her and the Count have a moment on they were in a trellis balcony, something like that, with grapes and things like that, and they were talking about, oh, if we share plate over some bread and cheese, we'll be friends forever. And the Count is like, I know he was sitting there. His internal monologue is what I want to hear. On all levels of this movie, I want to hear his internal monologue, because I'm like, sir, you already know this woman. Now, the fact that she didn't recognize you, one, like at all, is still a baffling thing to me. I'm like, you mean to tell me you've been with this man for so long, and then he goes away for 16 years and you still don't remember his face?
Well, see, this is why I opened the show with letting people know that the author is black. Because since the characters have been adapted to whiteness and everybody views them as white, you have to realize, and I've experienced this my whole life as a black woman, a change of hairstyle, a change in glasses, a change in how you do your makeup, white people will swear up and down you're a whole different person and they cannot recognize you.
Facts. We still
And
have
also, if you didn't join us for the viewing party last night, also tagged in the description of this video are links underneath each episode title of where you can directly go to watch the episodes. If you want to go through there, watch it, and then come back and join us, feel free.
Excuse me. Yeah, because it's just like we were talking, I think, last week, with the whole "She's All That," and what's her name, Gabrielle Union, and her performance in 10 Things I Hate About You, where she played a sophomore, and then in "She's All That" she played a senior. Literally the same person within the same year played in both of those movies, but in both of those movies, the styling was different, the hair was different, the clothes were different, and people swore up and down that it was two different people.
Well, think about the entire life and career of Dolly Parton. Unless she dresses up as Dolly Parton, nobody recognizes her. She walks around freely with no security and no one knows who she is. A change of clothes and taking off a wig and no one recognizes her. In all of these years, no one recognizes her. So it's plausible. And you have to realize mentally her mind would be playing tricks on her and she doesn't want to admit it because this is someone she was told was deceased. And
True.
I'm sure we've all, after we, well, I'll speak for myself. Like when my grandmothers and my mother passed away, for the longest time, even now, I'll catch a glimpse of someone and I'm like, they kind of look, no, that can't possibly be her. Hence the fact the witness protection program has been successful and people are rarely put to other countries. They're still walking around the United States. And as much as people crisscross and travel, nobody recognizes them.
Well, I'll do you one better, and then we're gonna get back to the episode. We were painting my downstairs living room, right? So my mom and went out to go get my uncle to give me a hand because it's a big room, and to paint that whole thing, it was gonna take both of us. It's gonna take the two people. So I had on an old shirt that my dad used to wear. I don't know why, I just put it on that day. So I'm sitting out and I'm painting the edges so that way when we paint, we don't have to go, to the edge and then, mess up the molding and everything. So I'm painting, and I get to a section now over my fireplace, which you have seen because there's a mirror there. So we had removed all the stuff and we hadn't papered the mirror yet because I hadn't gotten over there yet. So I just started from the outer edge and then worked around. And then for some reason, now this is me in full mustache, full beard, full everything. I happened to turn around quickly and I said, Daddy, what you doing up on this? I had to stop myself. Because I was like, that man is not here. I was like, this man is not here. Stop it. Ooh, I had to come down off the ladder for a few seconds. I had to come down because I was like, Lord, I ain't ready for this. I ain't ready.
And in this moment of them having this nostalgia of, ooh, this food takes me back to my childhood and this, that, and the other, I don't think she really wanted to be like, put on her Usher moment, be like, you remind me of a dude I once knew. Like, that would have just they would have been looking at her like, what? You don't know nobody. Like, you don't really lead a cast. Who you know? Like,
so then we get to the part where the food's been taken away. Again, they're on the trellis, and her son happens to see them, and then the servant Peppino, who again followed him. I get a kick out of that.
Oh,
Peppo followed him. And she's like, look like they're having an intimate moment. And I'm just like, girl, you're not helping. You are not helping the situation. And fostering his doubts about his parents. So then he gets an invitation to go to the Count's house. And he's just like, okay, cool, no problem. And so, he has a dream that his mother's looking at a picture of the Count. He's like, how could you know the Count? Blah 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 blah. And he wakes up in a cold sweat and shenanigans. And so he gets up, gets dressed, and then Peppo comes back into his room again, causing shenanigans. This girl is just petty.
Patty ain't breaking all the rules of being a servant in the house. She's walking around like she's the mistress of the house. That's what's really taking me. Like, girl, you're not supposed to be there in the first place. You done snuck in, okay? They just have such a large staff that they
didn't even notice you.
And you just walking through, like, how very Camilla Bowles Parker like, girl, sit down. You are a guest.
And not even that.
You are the maid consort, okay? You have no power. Sit down.
So then she's just like, she remarks on his outfit. She's like, oh, I thought you were going to be more flamboyant. And I was just like, flamboyant? What do you mean? Then he comes out in this most ridiculous outfit. I said, Jesus, I can't with these people. I cannot with these people.
That was his Scarlett O'Hara moment.
It was. It really was.
That was his living room curtain moment. I'm
sorry. To this day, stick a pin right there. Her entering that birthday party in that red dress is still iconic to this day. Ain't nobody topped that. Because I said, that entrance was too good. And her face, it's like, girl. People was ducking for cover. People was ducking for cover. But so his friends is just like, you know, when your friends are sitting here clowning you, when they just like, Lord, why? Why? You know they questioning their friendship with you, and they're like, why am I friends with this person? Why am I friends with this person? Why?
Oh, I've had some of those moments with some family members, especially when you're meeting them somewhere, so you couldn't like correct them back at the house, and you looking like,
Jesus.
and you have to kind of pull a Kate at the memorial yesterday and walk away from everybody. Although I think Kate was walking away from everybody yesterday because she was the least pleasantly dressed. But
Girl, when I tell you, I saw it, what's the name was where I said, don't you be serving out here in these streets, Miss Megan? Don't you be serving out here in these streets? Stop that.
if a black woman ain't gonna do nothing else, she gonna serve, especially at a wedding, a funeral, or a birthday party.
True.
Because those are the times that we can really get dressed. We got clothes sitting in the back of our closet that we caught on sale as a just in case. And now we get to break the seal.
Remove the tag, as it will. Girl, so then they go to the count's house and they're like, oh, okay, this is cute. Then get inside, and girl, when I'm telling you, I felt like I was on, like, the first time I watched this, I felt like I was on an acid trip. I did. It's like, okay, this is a lot. This is a lot, sir. This is a bit much. Just
like he hired Liberace to decorate.
I mean, seriously. I was like, my God, the gold everywhere. I was like, baby.
He decorated how Trump wished Mar-a-Lago looked.
Thank you. Say it one more time for the people in the back. One more time.
Yeah, that's how Trump wished Mar-a-Lago and Trump Towers looked.
Girl.
That's how you do gold. Not that gold plated, as we learned, smell like hot dog water shenanigans in Mar-a-Lago. And y'all still renting that place out for weddings?
Ugh. Anyway, so they go there and they're vibing, and somehow they get onto the topic of people of fiancés and love and all this shenanigans. And then they see Heidi with her bad self. Girl, no, she was looking bad. Just hair slay, black woman in disguise. I'm just saying, just sitting there, just like, that's right. I know, I'm pretty. But she's sitting there and she's just like, look, I just do what this man saved my life, so I got him on lock. I got his back. Whatever he tell me to do, I'm gonna do. And that's just that. I'm not too keen about that last part, but hey, it is what it is. This is the story. I'm just reporting the news. Don't come for me for that. I'm just reporting the news. Cuz, are you frozen?
No.
Oh, okay. I was like, you didn't say anything or move. I was like, are you okay? Did we lose you?
Nope, I'm still here.
So then we go back into the boat, and then Captain Morel, Maximilian, is, not too pleased about, how the quote unquote families, which again, my cousin can speak to, as she's, the aficionado of how royal families get down,
With each other.
Thank you. And that, these marriages are just, they're financial. They're not for love. They're financial. So then while Bear gets in his feelings, be like, nah, my parents married for love, baby. That I don't know about nobody else, but my parents married for love. And he's just like,
for the love of money.
She give me money.
Wait.
We can't say too much of that. We don't want to get copyright strikes.
No, we ain't singing Kanye's version. You can sing the other one. You can sing the original.
But I got a woman. Okay. I'm
Because they
digressing.
killed me turning a song where the man was the gold digger into the woman being a gold digger. But we'll talk about that on another day.
We'll do that another podcast. So then, oh yeah. So then they get into this whole full blown argument, where they're just like, we gonna fight it out. We gonna have ourselves a duel, and we gonna discuss this situation. And then that's where the episode leaves off, and then we pick back up with episode 5. Do you love your fiance? So we pick up right where we left off, basically, where they're having this fight. They're going to duke it out, blah 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 blah. And so they're fighting. Now, mind you, Albert has had some fencing lessons, but I'm like, this dude is on full on army mode. You're not winning this fight. You're not gonna win this fight. I'm sorry. I hate to be the bearer of bad news. You're not winning. I don't care how powerful you quote unquote think your family's relationship is. You ain't winning from this dude. It ain't gonna happen. I'm sorry. I hate to tell you. But unlike Effie, I'm telling you that you're going to lose this fight. I'm telling you. So they fight. He falls, because he's being incredibly stupid and young and naive. And then the Count jumps in after him, saves him, and says, hey, man, I feel your feelings. I feel you. But I really need your help. And I'm just like, help? You really don't need this man's help, but you're just trying to weave yourself in closer. But we're gonna let you. Because we know what's going on.
Well, plus he's had such a sheltered life. The only bit of excitement he has is encased in the Count. And even when he got kidnapped, nobody really took the proper steps to save him but the Count. Like, they was really just gonna let him die. Like,
basically.
like the only one that was willing to keep him alive was Peppo, but she's turning out to be a stalker.
Yeah, she's got those stalker tendencies. So then, after that particular moment, he wakes up and he's back home. He's in his bed and all that good stuff, and he gets up and his fiancée, Miss Eugenie, which I'm sorry, horrible name. I'm sorry. It's just terrible. Like, whoever thought to name this poor child that, y'all should be shot. Like, shot.
It was a popular name at the time that it was written.
I guess. Ooh.
I mean, think about it. As people are getting more comfortable with utilizing their cultural names, if you give the same time span between when the book was written and now to that amount of time in the future, they'll look back at our names and think that they were gross and plain. And what were they thinking? That's what we call our pets.
Instead of 60925.
Like Harold used to be a great name that so many men had. Now, when I go to the vet, there's 67 cats, dogs, and birds named Harold. So there'll be one why would they call her Stephanie, Margaret? Oh, Margaret, put the bone down, Margaret. Put the bone. Do you know they had queens named after your sister puppy, Elizabeth? How unsavory, indubitably.
Well,
imagine people in the future looking at King Charles, knowing that they're King Charles dogs that exist, being so confused right now. Being so confused.
Instead of 06928, I know.
We won't have numbers. We'll just have cultural names. We'll go back to our cultural heritages. We're not going to be mythical. Art imitates life. Life is not about to imitate art.
Okay. So basically, she and his mom. Basically, his mom called his fiance, like, "Girl, let's go shopping. Let's go shopping. We gonna go shop, get some stuff. We're gonna just get pamper ourselves today." So he's there, and again, he's still thinking about this. Like he's still like full on, like, oh my God. I cannot believe I had a full down, knockdown, drag out fight over something so simple. So simple. But it is what it is, darling. You did it. It happened.
Mhm.
As much as you don't want to say it happened, it happened. But with this particular episode, there really wasn't, the juice was there because we were coming down off of the fight. Like the fight was the main protagonist of this episode. It's in the next episode. Oh, the juiciness.
Do you love your fiance?
Well, that's the one I was just discussing.
So you skipped one.
No, My Mother's Secrets I did before.
Okay.
Do you love your fiance?
Her Melancholy, My Melancholy.
Yeah, that's the one I'm about to go into. But I know we gotta. Do you have to run the ad, or can I go into it? Because I'm this one I'm going to spend some time on.
Oh, well, in that case, we'll run the ad early. Here we go.
Style. Style is the answer to everything. A fresh way to approach a dull or dangerous thing. To do a dangerous thing with style is what I call art.
And we're back.
So her Melancholy, My Melancholy. This episode was so juicy. So juicy. Ooh. Okay. So basically we start off this episode where Albert and, again, his father are talking about something. Basically about the whole fiance thing and about, hey, did you really love, when you met mom, did you really love her? And blah, 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 blah. And he's just like, yeah, no, when me and your mom met, it was totally love. And I was like, you mean lust for you? It wasn't love for her. Just saying. Just throwing that out there. As you kind of stole her from her husband because you told her he was dead. So there's that. As she sips her tea. I love it. So basically we're talking about that. And like I said, the juiciness of this episode is so. So they're talking, and so the Count sends him some opera tickets to meet him at the opera. He's like, "Hey, come on, come out with me to the opera today." And so here's where the downhill comes, and then the rain comes. So his father's like, so he was about to send a messenger with the other ticket to send it to Eugenie. Say, "Hey, come out to the opera." And the father's like, "No, you're gonna go. It's these little things that'll help you endear yourself to your fiance." And so he plays along again. This boy has lived a sheltered life,
which is quite indicative of anyone who grows up in the aristocracy. Quick caveat. Prince Andrew once asked, Kate Blanchett, yes, the Kate Blanchett, if she could fix his DVD player, because he assumed since she was an actress, she knew, and I quote, everything to do with the movies. This is how sheltered they were. Also, let's not forget that there was an organization created so that Queen Elizabeth II, aka Queen Colonizer, that's how I refer to her, and I have for a while. If y'all, wait a minute, where's it at? Y'all think I'm joking? Because I told you I keep notes on every historical figure, especially if they're alive while I'm alive. If hold on,
Yeah, they can't see it.
yeah, I'm about to hold on. Take this down for just a second.
The mustache. The mustache gets me every time.
But yeah, like don't think that I've been saying this about her. But they created a whole organization so that she could be a girl guide, the British version of the Girl Scouts. Um, it was her family and the children of staff members of the palace, which means you had to have an office job. And if you know anything about the royal family, the Windsors, uh, they didn't start hiring Black people until about 2 years ago. So this is how they socialized. They weren't socializing with common people. That also goes to show a lot of the dysfunction between Diana and Charles and Fergie and Andrew, because Fergie and Diana had regular upbringings, even though they had they had the lineage of the aristocracy.
Mhm.
So when we say they're sheltered, don't think Paris Hilton and Nicole Richie when they had their little reality show and they didn't understand what a Walmart was. They just thought that it sold walls. No, these people are truly, truly sheltered. They are in a bubble of no other because people cannot criticize them. People can't really correct them. Now, King Charles III gave an infamous interview with Barbara Walters where he admitted that he was ashamed that as a king, well, as a prince, because he was sent to school instead of having a governess like his mother did, there were subjects he failed. And he was a grown adult before he could admit he failed, where the rest of us are like, yeah, it's a little embarrassing to say you failed, but you still graduated, you could talk about it now. So it's things like that. Like they're truly sheltered. There was, please excuse me if I get the date wrong, I believe it was an article that was published in 1957 in the British press. The individual, who was a lord, by the way, criticized an appointment when the monarch still appointed the prime minister, while y'all keep saying that they haven't had any control. He stated, and I quote, that Queen Elizabeth II's appointments are upper class and British instead of being classless and of the Commonwealth. Do you know people were slapping him in the streets? Because you're not supposed to criticize them. But that's just to give you all a caveat and so you understand what we truly mean when we say that these kids of royalty, whether it's a princess, the children of dukes and duchesses, or a lord, or a viscount, like they're in a bubble. They're circulating around each other. It's
Okay,
not.
so-
And then before y'all go, but Taz, they hang out with American celebrities nowadays as adults after they've already not been properly socialized and in a bubble.
Okay, so to put it in even plainer text, if any of you have seen the show Bridgerton on Netflix, when Eloise goes in the second season to quote unquote find out who Lady Whistledown is, and she basically tracks him down to the print shop, she is completely unaware of what the people who are not quote unquote in her social class are going through. She has no idea. Like even in the first season, when she accused her maid, the lady of the house, that she was Lady Whistledown, she was just like, if I was Lady Whistledown and still working for you, really? Do you think I have nothing else better to do? She's like, baby, if I was Lady Whistledown, I would not be working here.
Well, not only that, let's think about when we say Bridgerton, it's a perfect example because let's not forget that there were certain books she wasn't even privy to until she broke out. She snuck out. Like the one and only time that then princesses Elizabeth and Margaret had any type of real interaction with commoners was at the end of World War II when their parents let them sneak out of the castle to revel in the streets upon their victory. And they couldn't even enjoy that or really pay attention and observe because they were afraid they were going to be found out. And the only thing they took away from that is that we went arm in arm and we danced upon the streets. They didn't look at the destruction. They didn't look at the mayhem. They didn't look at the poverty because shortly after that, Elizabeth was like, fuck this shit. Give me them ration coupons. I'm going to get me a wedding dress.
True.
Like
When
nothing
I
says disconnected to your country still being in shambles. And you're like, give me them ration coupons for my dress with the top dressmaker of the royal family and a 9-foot wedding cake and an elaborate honeymoon that y'all can pick up the bill for.
yeah, when I found out that she used ration coupons to purchase, I said, how
And they
how
use that as
disconnected do you have to
propaganda,
be?
but they use that as propaganda during that time. Like, look what the princess did. First of all, who gave coupon books to the royal family?
But let's get back to this episode. So he goes there. So he's gonna go there. So we shoot over to Eugenie's house, and she's playing the piano. Doing her thing because that's what she likes to do. That's her hobby. And so she's playing the piano, and then she goes. So it switches over to um, one of the maids. They're knocking on her mother's door to get her up, and the other maid comes into her. She's just like, mm-mm, 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 leave her alone. And then the other maid's like, Master Dubray is here again. And she was just like, I was just like, again, watching this for the first time, I was just like, Dubray. I was like, where do I know that name? And I was just like, oh, it's like one of her friends in her friend group is sleeping with her mama. I said, Jesus. So as they're having that dispute discussion, Eugenie comes up, and they excuse themselves, not even continuing their conversation while she's there, right? They excuse themselves, and she's about to knock on the door, and the door just happens to be ajar enough to open it, and she sees her mom, you know, getting out of bed, and she's about to walk in, and then her I'm not gonna even call him her friend. I'm just gonna say a person that she knows in her friend group. That's all I'm gonna say. And she sees him, and he's just walks out of her mama room, like, "Hey, what's going on, friend?" And I was just like, "Bitch, you just slept with her mama. Hello, are we not?" Well, okay. To put it into context, it's no better than basically King Henry VIII sleeping with both sisters from the Boleyns. So it's really no different. It's the same thing. But I'm just like, my God, sir, you know this woman. This is your best friend's fiance's mother. Have you no? You talk about this because there's another part I'm going to linger on, but I want your thoughts on this too because that just took me out.
First thing I thought was about the originating author. I was like, sir, the shade. And then the interpretation of the author for this anime, I was like, if this is not a commentary on white people and the fact that white people have no loyalty, and white people would just be like, I want a piece of that. Because white people never go, I want someone like you. I don't care how many times Adele sings it. That ain't what she mean. It's not I want someone like you. It's I want you, but not for the long time, just for a good time. Like that's it. And they will sneak around with each other. Anybody that's on the Reddit side of TikTok or just on Reddit, there's like 50 million stories about people and the amount of husbands having affairs with their mother-in-laws, you nasty. But I really wasn't shocked. I really wasn't shocked. Like, look at every aristocracy. Everybody sleeping with they first of all of y'all cousins.
Wait.
Do y'all
With
forget-
their mother-in-laws?
Yeah. Do y'all forget the one king who, when he died, his heart was all shriveled up and they couldn't find a drop of blood in him because he was that far disabled and handicapped because of all the inbreeding that resulted in him? Will y'all quit? And this is in the future. We're not even sure about the birth control situation. And y'all just in there bumping uglies. I know her milkshake brought you to the yard. That doesn't mean you're supposed to drink it.
Oh my God.
Have some water. Yes, it is a bunch of them on TikTok and on Reddit where women done found out that they mamas is sleeping with their husbands. And there's one woman who has been chronicling it, her experience, because her mama and her now ex-husband are trying to fight her for custody of the kids. Now, I don't know how the grandma gonna explain to these kids how she boning their daddy, and now she wants to be they grandmama, stepmama. I don't know. Okay.
Oh my God. Mind officially blown. So we go, oh my God. Wow. Jesus.
See, this is what happens when you have insomnia and you get on Reddit and you just put in random stuff. And that's why I quit putting random stuff into things.
Why, Lord? Why? I did not need to know all this. Oh, Jesus. So,
yeah, because one thing I put in entitled mother-in-law, that is not what I expected to come up.
I blame you, Jesus. I blame you for this one because you need to stop that. But anyway, okay. Back to the episode. So we meet Eugenie and her father downstairs, who's doing work downstairs, not eating. And, she's got an attitude, rightly so. And she's like, Dad, hey, your stuff's getting cold. And he's like, oh, yeah. Again, completely oblivious, or pretending to be completely oblivious. We're never really sure. And so the person who slept with her mama comes in, and he tells it, and so he asks him, oh, did you spend a good night?
He had a Six Flags type of night.
I mean, seriously. I was like, Lord, I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this. You are not going to do this to me. I was like,
they was having the boys to men on bended knee night.
I mean, seriously.
Somebody knocking their boots.
Have you seen my silhouette?
They was having an H-Town night. Somebody knocking their boots.
So I creep. Yeah, just creeping all the time. Girl, I was in my feelings when I saw that. I said, no, they didn't. They dead wrong. So then he comes down.
See, last night when that part played, I had went into the kitchen, brought with me to go get some more ice water. I put my cup down and completely forgot to put water in the cup because I was like, what? Huh? So I went to take a sip, and I just had ice in the cup, and I'm looking at the cup, looking at the screen, looking at the cup, looking at the screen, like, what? Did you just make my water evaporate with your nastiness?
I said, seriously. So then he tells him basically a stock tip. So I was like, so you're pimping out your wife for stock tips?
Yes.
I was like, okay, Lord.
There's a whole, I don't want to say trend, but it's kind of like a lifestyle of top executives. And I ain't talking about like your mom and pop CEOs or regional. No, I'm talking about your conglomerates. You wonder why they have such gorgeous wives and the wives are always vacationing by themselves or with their friends, because they will bargain off their wives for a night or a week for promotion or inside story. And these women are cool with it. They know what it is going in. Yeah. So it's nothing new. It's nothing new. That's why you see a lot of swip swaps of couples where you're like, they're not mad and they're still friends. Yeah, they are. Because they're like, oh, you think my what? Mm-hmm. Like when y'all watch these movies and TV shows, that's why I keep reminding y'all, art imitates life. If you see something, barring sci-fi and all of that stuff, trust and believe it's happened multiple times, and then somebody found out about it and just took a little poetic license to make it palatable for you.
So indecent proposal was real, huh? Anyway, moving along. Moving along. So we catch up with Albert heading over to Eugenie's place, and he sees the count, and the count gives him a ride, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm on my way to visit Baron Danglars because he's the best bank in town, and I needed a bank to put all my money in." So he's like, "Oh, cool! I can introduce you because we're friends, sort of. I'm marrying his daughter, kind of, basically." And so he's like, "Cool, an introduction, nice." So they get there and they're waiting in the hall foyer, and they see Debray, and he's like, "Hey, what are you doing here this early in the morning?" Doesn't answer his question, mind you. Like, he just completely blows past it. He was like, "Oh, I'm just here, just visiting." Mm-hmm. Yeah. And he's just like, "Oh, yeah, blah, 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 blah." And then he turns to the counter. He's like, "Hey, you know what? We should get together. You know what? I'm going to invite you to my house." I'm like, I'm not. So then he sees Eugenie. He's like, "Hey, I'll be up in a minute. I'm just going to introduce the count to your dad, and then I'll be up in a minute to talk to you." So they go in, and he makes his introductions, and then he departs, and then the two dudes talk business. And he's like, "Yeah, I want to set up a bank account here, and here's my letters of recommendation from my bank in outer space." Again, this is all sci-fi by you, by the way, in case y'all didn't catch y'all, or y'all haven't seen it yet. And he's like, here's their articles. And he's like, "Yeah, but," and so Danglars like, "That's nice and all, but they say you don't have a credit limit." Want to explain? That means that you could just draw without an upper limit. It's a bit much. And the count's like, "Well, what do you mean? They said I can do this, so what's the problem?" And then the Baron's like, "Yeah, nah, I'm good. I don't do these kinds of business shenanigans." No one. He's sitting here full on doing insider trading. And so the count's like, "Okay, no problem. I'll just go to another bank." Stops him cold tracks in the thing, and he's just like, "Oh, well, no, 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 no. It's fine. It's fine. I'll just have to do some extra leg work, which is fine. No problem." And then the count pulls out like about 6 checks worth about almost about like $1 billion. And he's just like, well, yeah, because I really wanted to deposit these. If you would have seen, if that would have been a knife, fork, and food on a plate, the bear sure enough did gobble it up. And he's like, picks him up and like, there's no problem. We'll take care of this. Which I found hilarious. I don't know. Did you find it hilarious? Because I was just like, because that was the ultimate car deal move. That was the ultimate car deal move where you just like, you know what? Fine. I'm going to just go someplace else. And you just like, wait, that's what I'm supposed to be pulling on you, not you on me. That was like the ultimate Uno reverse card.
Yep.
But I was just like, so we're going to get your thoughts on that when then I'm going to move on to the next part. Because
First
I
of all,
found it hilarious.
It was just funny to me, and it came across, it definitely hilarious, but it came across to me as that you don't look like you could have this. So I think you're trying to run a scam. And then when it showed up to be accurate, it was kind of like, oh, excuse, like, you know how like you can walk into a store and the white cashier wants to follow you around, and then you get to the register and you done dropped a couple $100 and she, well, can I get you something else? Can I help you? Like, that's the vibes it was giving me.
Or better yet, best one ever. The Selena's movie where she was in the dress shop buying a dress, and the woman in the
When
dress.
everybody flooded in and she's like, oh, we won't be needing that any longer.
Because baby, listen, when one of the people who was working at that store saw her, she was just like, Selena? And she's like, yeah. And girl ran out of there. She's like, Selena's in the dress shop. Selena's in the dress shop. Everybody came up. And she was sitting there signing autographs, like,
And the thing about it is, people get so accustomed to what they think money looks like. Biggest lesson I learned from my grandfather. Thank goodness for technology, because, I really don't like to go out to purchase things because things never go right when I go into stores or places. But he was like, if you're going to make a major purchase, dress down. Dress down, because you'll get a better deal, or at least the true price. When you go in there trying to look like money because people are ridiculous, they'll upcharge you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and jewelers, stop looking at my black ass and deciding to force AAVE, because trust and believe, I'm going to walk out and go to another jeweler and spend twice as much as I would have with you. You can just speak to me as a regular schmegular human being. You don't have to, yes, queen, yeah, come, you gonna slay with it. I'm making an investment. I ain't trying to be your friend. We're not.
We're not besties. But so moving on. So then he goes up to see. So Albert like I said, after he leaves, he goes upstairs to see Eugenie, and he's just like, "Hey, how's it going?" And she's just like, she's upset, like visibly, like she's like, "I don't even care." And she was just like. He was just like, it was cool to see what's name. And she's just like, I've never thought of him as a friend. I was like, I had to adjust my seat. I was like, that means that she's seen something before. Even before this instance.
Going on.
So then, and he was just like, well, what do you mean? She was just like, he's sleeping with my mother, Albert. What didn't you understand? What didn't you get? I was like,
He's using her mama ankles as earmuffs, sir.
So then we get to the final part of this. Oh, girl. So the plot twist for this one, I'll say the honest big change for this one, because I haven't read the book in very, very long. It's been a minute. But the plot twist in this one is that the prince was killed
Yeah.
in the opera. In his box. And so the prince's box has been closed, shut off, shut down. Nobody's been able to go in there. Like, it's been permanently closed. So the night of the opera comes, everybody's filing in, and the count and Heyday, woo girl, showed up. Homegirl was looking snatched. Snatched. Girls was sitting high. The clothing was revealing, but not enough revealing where you saw everything. The jewels were good. The dress just fit her just right. Girl was walking in like she owned the place.
She was having her the people's princess moment. Because
I mean,
remember,
seriously.
when Diana and Charles officially broke up and Diana stepped out that first time, she was like, "You gonna remember me and regret." That's what that moment took me back to, when I was looking at her like,
Like, have you seen my silhouette?
what? Shit.
But she walked out of there, and so just stunning, absolutely stunning. Then it's cutting to France and Albert talking, and then just like, hey, blah 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 blah. And he was just like, well, where's Eugenie? And she's like, she's over there. And he was just like, where's Valentine? And he goes completely silent. Like, he does not like this girl, like, at all. And I feel bad for Valentine. I really do. I feel bad for her. And then, but not bad enough to where I can say, you know what? She's better off with Maximilian, because them two have chemistry. They have chemistry. And I love that.
Yeah.
So then, this is the good part. So then they see everybody's looking up because the curtain for the princess box is being removed. And they're like, what? And they're just like, everybody is just like, got their opera glasses out, being like, who's sitting up in this box? Who's sitting up in this box? And then
see, that's what got me for a minute. But remember, this is the time during the viewing party where, out of nowhere, the Sandman smacked me in the back of the head.
You're not the only one, honey. You were not the only one.
That sounds violent, y'all, because we were planning on doing like one more episode last night, but all of us, all at once, I think we were getting too excited during different like pivotal moments, like the shifts in some of these episodes. I think we were getting way too excited. You get that adrenaline rush that we all kind of crashed at the same time. Because if you remember, this is the part where I asked you to like scroll back a little bit, because I was like, because I was like, I don't know if this is a moment where I'm overthinking this or if I missed something. And then when we ran it back, I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, no, you didn't miss it. So everybody's complaining about the box, and then Heidi and the Count step out, and everybody's like, oh my gosh, she's so gorgeous. Oh my God, he's so handsome. And then he looks down and Albert waves, and she's like, and somebody from behind him's like, oh, do you know him, Albert? And he's like, he's beaming. He's beaming. And so then his father and his mother come out of their box. And his father's quote unquote waving. But nobody is paying attention. They're all looking up in the opposite direction. And so he's like, oh, well, it looks like somebody's premiering a new box. Then he looks up and sees it's the princess box. And he goes into panic mode. And he was just like, what? And then we get the strangest but satisfying but still strange of Heidi seeing Albert's father's face again. We don't know at this point what's going on there, but she full on freaks out and starts pointing at him and saying, that man, and then faints and nearly falls, but the Count catches her. And that's where we end the episode. Of her basically fainting, and Count's got her in her arms, and she's basically hanging over the box. And that's it.
So make sure you join us next week, every Saturday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's via, excuse me, it is via Zoom. Link is in the bio. Also, if you want to play along with us, the bingo cards, well, the Tazingo bingo cards, DM me on Instagram at CINCITAZ, and I can shoot you one. I tried to link it into the description, but YouTube is kind of funny about PDFs and stuff, so couldn't do it. I had them for you on Friday. I just forgot to mention it. So much has gone on in the past 2 weeks. Do not forget that tomorrow will be part 2 of the Espionage Act of 1917. And Tuesday we'll be getting into a plethora of things. There are some more things to clear up regarding Queen Elizabeth, because I'm seeing some disinformation and misinformation floating around the internet. So I just want to clear it up because I don't want y'all walking around with incorrect information. And if you have any questions regarding the royal family or monarchs, period, shoot me a message, or just wait until Tuesday, put in the comments. I will do my best to, as always, give you the historical context behind it. Any final thoughts before I run this, excuse me, last video?
Baby, listen, it's about to get juicier. I need all of y'all to come to the viewing party and come watch this shenanigans, that when we break it down even further here, because we'll be able to ask questions and stop each other in side conversations and joke. Trust me, it's gonna get juicier. It's gonna get juicier. That's all I got. Ooh, girl, I'm sitting over here fanning myself.
And as always, I always have a closing video for you all. But each one teach one, each one reach one. Till next time, y'all.
In my dream as an actor, I dreamed I could be in a movie like this.
To learn that there was this true story, a female army that legit protected their kingdom, that legit beat men. It's like, why didn't I know this when I was a little girl?
They were the ultimate warriors. We fight or we die.
24/7 they trained. That's why they were so good. They outworked everybody. They were stronger, faster, fiercer.
These were women who took great pride in being in this military unit.
They just represented everything heroically badass.
They were fearless. That's what made people revere them.